Welcome to the final NAIAFBALL live show of the year. That's right. We've made it. It does not seem, no, it does seem like forever ago, but mostly because I was in an RV that we started this trip.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding, man. I'm
That,
dancing. I'm ready for a national championship,
my
dude.
gosh, me too.
I'm ready.
Matt, what I
I'm
think
ready.
you are most ready for is to step into the Texas quote unquote heat because it's going to be in the 60s and 70s this
Oh,
weekend. And
thank
what's
goodness.
your temperature right now, Matt?
We were sitting at about 10 degrees Fahrenheit today, which is actually warmer than it's been the past week or so.
A balmy 10 degrees. That
hmm
sounds like my version of hell.
Yeah, well, good thing we'll be in a nice southern state for you. So,
Thank God for small favors. Also, thank God for UEN and
mhm.
their coverage this year. And Matt, I will be alongside Jason Danley on Saturday doing the UEM pregame show. So
Heck yeah.
should run somewhere 60 to 90 minutes before kickoff. We haven't gotten an exact time pinned down, but should be fun. We're going to get pretty much anyone and everyone on the show between pre-recorded interviews with both coaches. I've even seen that Jim Carr, the CEO of the NAI, is on the docket, so that will be fun.
Wow.
I saw him in an airport once, and I'm pretty sure he didn't know who I was, but that's okay.
He'll know after this weekend.
Well, he'll at least know that I have a face. That's all right. Thanks to UEN for putting all this together. The playoffs have been very nice to be able to get together all in one place. Now, Matt, you know that I am a sucker for good old cringy elementary school age word art. And so the theme for maybe even the whole show is going to be dual threat quarterbacks.
I
It's
knew it was
beautiful.
coming, and it still was just, like just so ridiculous. If you're listening on audio, it's the most beautiful arching green text of all time that bounced into the frame.
The more
Um,
garish it is, the better, honestly.
yes, yeah, I agree.
And you're probably going to sit here and go, well, Corey, dual threat quarterbacks is great for Jackson Waring. After Grandview dispatches Benedict in 17-10. What about Jackson Dooley? Well, okay, he had 18 yards, but he did have a very key fourth down pickup at the end of the game that put the Ravens in the red zone with a chance to tie this game late in the fourth quarter. This one was a war. It was cold. When the quarterbacks combined for 138 yards passing, you know it is definitely a run game. Matt, we came into this game asking questions about Benedictine's defense. And we might have been asking questions about the wrong side of the ball.
We really might have been. I was super impressed with how Benedictine's defense came out and played. Obviously, with Grandview, you know that side of the ball for them is going to show up and show out. You don't really have a question about probably the most proven defense in the entire NAIA. But Benedictine's defense was certainly up to the task. I was super impressed. But I do have to say, as somebody who watched the Seahawks, the Seattle Seahawks do this on Sunday, the red zone efficiency was a bit surprising, to be honest with you, from Benedictine.
Yeah, 100%. A touchdown and a field goal in 4 trips. You have 2 missed field goals. Now, granted, one of those was definitely not in the red zone. It was a 48-yarder.
True.
But you've got to be able to be more efficient when you're on Grandview's side of the field. It was missed opportunity after missed opportunity for Benedictine. It was, offensive. The inability for the offense to execute throughout the game is what gave Grandview the win because both teams' defenses played very, very well. And
You have to be able to convert, especially when
yeah,
you're holding Jackson Waring to just 5 completions for 36 yards and a touchdown and a pick. You have to be able to put the foot on the gas there. And obviously, like you said, Grandview's defense is definitely up to snuff. So, like, it's not surprising that they can convert there, but you miss 2 field goals, you're within a point there, and literally any other points anywhere else along the way, and you win this game.
yep,
So it's definitely not an ideal end for Benedictine, but Coach Osborne, still AFCA NAIA Coach of the Year.
yep.
Super impressive season for them. We will be seeing them back here next year, or close to at least. But yeah, man, Grandview just being able to gut it out at the very end there. Super impressive stuff on both sides of the ball. But Grandview, they've been here a few times. They're ready to go.
They know what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this look and well deserved for Benedictine,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely this was one we were talking about it on our Discord. Um, both of these matchups could reasonably have been national championship matchups, and we would have
Mm-hmm.
been pretty happy. And any of the 4 teams could have faced any other of the 4 teams, and we would have been pretty happy, just because of the quality of team that we had at this point. And you look at 17-10, you go, man, what a great snow game. And then you turn over and you go, oh, Kaiser shellacked College of Idaho. And Kaiser did have control of the game, tenuous at times.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you, going back through these stats, College of Idaho had a much better game than the eye test that I gave them credit for. The Yotes just would not quit. And the fact is, third and fourth down conversions, those are in the right order. That's the strangest thing to me. Kaiser, 33% on third and fourth down. College of Idaho was converting at a 50% clip. What that tells me is Kaiser really was not going to third and fourth down a whole awful lot.
Mm-hmm. And I think too, Kaiser, I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit when we get to the play call of the week too, but the big plays, the explosive plays for Kaiser, I feel like are what ultimately put it over the edge. Obviously, College of Idaho had a few of their own, but their style tends to just be more, run, chew the clock, possess the ball, control the game, which wins you a lot of football games. But when on the opposite side of that, you have Kaiser who's able to score pretty quickly, that's where it can get into trouble for you because your offense is on the field a lot and that can be tiresome.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot about what Kaiser was trying to do defensively that
Mm-hmm.
our skill player that we're highlighting for College of Idaho isn't the running back. It's Tory
Yes.
Watkins. 4
Yep.
receptions, 145 yards. Now, do not get me wrong for a minute. Tory Watkins had an absolute whale of a freaking game. My guy was
Phenomenal day.
catching back shoulder fades like it was no tomorrow. Unfortunately, that meant that Kaiser had gotten College of Idaho out of their game a little bit.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, dude, Caden Young was pulling him right back into this one with how he played. We talked about him really needing to show up against Kaiser and try to match the pace of that offense, and he did. I mean, 14 for 25 for almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. You do have a pick, but you certainly make up for that with 131 yards on the ground as well with a rushing touchdown. But like you mentioned, when the main part of your game, now granted, Byington still did average 5 yards a carry, but only 75 yards and no scoring plays. That's going to be the big difference for a guy who's used to putting up multiple touchdowns.
Yep. So we will be back in a second with more after a word from our friends at AdCraft.
So you want to create and sell custom merch for your team or business. That's exciting, but where do you begin? How much inventory should you order? How do you distribute orders? AdCraft has your answers. Streamline the way you offer custom merch by utilizing our risk-free web store service. We ship directly to each customer, and we have the fastest turnaround in the game. Raise funds for your team or get merch to your employees and patrons. Contact AdCraft today, and let's bring your merch to life.
AdCraft has been a fantastic partner over the last 5 or more years with us. Thank you so much to everyone who purchased on our web store. Hope you enjoy your clothes, and definitely tag us when you wear them. Want to see that hashtag NAI product gear out and about. Also want to thank Connor Darnell, who has made sure to make us look good throughout this year. If you need help with graphic design or recruiting graphics or schedule graphics or anything like that, give him a shout. He will get you taken care of like he's done us. All right, players of the week. I really had a hard time not going with Caden Young.
Mm-hmm.
But 5 darn touchdowns will do it.
Yeah, Shea Spencer playing out of his mind. This Kaiser team, with the way they're playing and with how Shea Spencer's playing, they really are pumped up for a second shot at Grandview this weekend. They are incredible. Shea Spencer looked out of this world pretty much during that entire contest. And not to mention, the legs were on full display too, like we had talked about earlier. The dual threat quarterback, he certainly put that on display with 3 rushing touchdowns, which is obscene, truthfully.
You would think after the first one, pulls a 31-yarder, and just goes. You would think that College of Idaho would go, okay, maybe we need to keep a spy in. If not after the first one, definitely after the second one. After the third one, you've got to be sitting here going, we've got to change the way we're playing this joker. This cannot continue.
Yeah, and to be fair, that second rushing touchdown he had was on the 2-yard line, but
was.
That third one is a 41-yard breakoff touchdown on and pretty much an immediate catch and run. Ultimately, that's what's going to tip the scale either for you or against you in these kind of games, is being able to contain players like that. And Shea Spencer could absolutely not be contained this past weekend, I should say.
And it's going to be a full Seahawk sweep as our defensive player of the week, Malik Raz, 9 tackles and an interception, was everywhere, shutting down the College of Idaho offense as much as he could in that secondary, getting that interception. Now, of course, that did not lead to points for Kaiser, but denies a scoring opportunity nevertheless.
Yeah, and I mean, College of Idaho was able to put another touchdown up on the board before the half. If they can't prevent that on that drive, they get the interception. Who knows? Maybe College of Idaho rolls through the half and keeps their momentum and wins this one. So that's a huge play.
Yep. So congratulations to our players of the week, the final ones of the season. Thanks also to the Headset app, who has sponsored us all year. Definitely a great product that we believe in terms of being able to do communications. It's a cheaper option for you instead of having to do bulky headsets that cost way too much money, and that you're just going to Steve Spurrier just yeet them onto the ground anyway. If there's one way to not be like the old ball coach, that's it, is throwing things, but you wouldn't throw your phone. So go with the Headset app and prevent yourself from fits of rage. Anyway.
There you go. Free therapy.
They
don't offer that. That's a joke. They don't offer that.
Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Yeah. Not available in North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, or Missouri.
All right, so this week's play call of the week, we've teased it enough, Matt. Let's just have a look at it. Let's see Shea Spencer do his thing.
Excellent blocking, too. I mean, my goodness. Count them. 1, 2, 3, Corey.
That, I mean, it's hard to get a running back to get 3 touchdowns in a game, but for the quarterback to pull it like that, he was. I don't know how you remain that WAO.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a confident play call right there. That's like, all right, let's just give our best player the ball because we know he's going to do something with it.
And you know, the crazy part is, 2 years ago, he gets hurt in the semifinal game, which holds him out for the next year's playoff run. That's a big call there, especially on the third one to be like, we're gonna put our field general in harm's way. You got to have a lot of faith, I think, in your backup quarterback to do that, knowing that he's had an injury history before.
Yeah, for sure. But I think, too, Shea was feeling invincible that day. I don't know if he was going to be going down anyways. So.
Yeah, my guy was in the zone there. So let's break down then our matchup here for the second season in a row. Grandview Kaiser. On offense for Grandview, you're looking at Jackson Waring, Dalton Van Pelt, and Isaiah Toki. Yes, we've been saying his name wrong all season. It's okay because that does not look like Isaiah.
Have we not been saying Isaiah?
I've been saying Isaiah. Have you been saying Isaiah? I've definitely not been saying Isaiah.
I have been saying Isaiah since last year at the national title game when I heard them announce it on the speakers.
That is, my brain will not barely lets me read that as Isaiah. That's okay. That's what his mama named him.
Fair enough. But, hey, you know what? That's a guy you're going to be taking note of because last year in this game, he went crazy. So that's definitely one to watch out for.
So the last couple of years, Grandview has had this immense advantage. Or last year they had an immense advantage. Year before that, Northwestern had an immense advantage in that it was chilly. But you know what? I think Jackson Waring is going to be very glad that it's not 7 degrees in Fort Worth, Texas. Because, that's really hard on the offense, being that darn cold.
Yeah, and I mean, even with what we've seen from Grandview's offense this year, like, last week was proof that weather, like, does wear on you. So it's definitely an advantage. Those Iowa boys won't tell you that in person because they're all tough guys and farm boys. But, man, like, you got to, in the back of your head, be like, no snow, no frost. Let's go.
The ball will not feel like a rock when I catch it. Think of the poor punter who's dropping a boulder on his foot. We were talking about it on Saturday. I said, what it reminds me of is when I was a child and I used to drop kick green pine cones. That hurts.
Yeah.
Kaiser's defense is, however, also very good. Has been good. You saw it shut down College of Idaho. You saw it shut down St. Thomas. You saw it shut down Southeastern. It's good. I mean, you've got Kedrick Burley with 13 tackles for a loss. You've got Chandler Percival with 4 interceptions. This is a defense that is going to want to be fast and flow to the ball. If you're Grandview, Matt, do you try to use some of their speed against them to create leverage and pull out some trick plays like the ye old tight end throwback or the reverse.
I think you could, but I also think just the way Grandview plays, like they're going to want to beat them straight up. And I think they can. Not to say that they will, because obviously Kaiser's defense is very, very good, like you mentioned. But they want the old-fashioned way. This diner still makes Coke the old-fashioned way, Corey. And that is with Jackson Waring, controlling the pace of the game. They got to make sure the O-line is protecting them. They're going to do everything they can to make sure he has all the time he needs to get it to his guys like Isaiah Toki, Dalton Van Pelt. It's super important that Waring is a major factor in this game for them, because if he has a performance like Benedictine's defense was able to cage him in with, not a good situation, especially with Kaiser's offense on the other side of the ball, able to put points very quickly.
And to be fair, Waring has not run a ton this year. It feels like he has been more reticent to run. No, that's not the way I want to say that. He's been favoring the pass and being smart with the football instead of taking off with it more this year, even into the playoffs, than he was last year, where he was ripping everyone's defenses to shreds. Not to say that he is worse. It's just a different style of play. But I wonder if we will see the vintage Jackson Waring come out of the wrapper, so to speak, here.
I think so. I really think that would be an X factor for their offense in this case, especially because they've been able to just have him pass for the most part. He hasn't had to run. Not that he really had to last year either, but an extra year of experience, no matter if you're the National Player of the Year or not, you're going to be more comfortable in that pocket and more familiar with your linemen and more familiar with your weapons. Just naturally, those lanes and those routes are going to feel more second nature to you. It's probably why he's able to rip the ball more this year.
Flipping the page to the defenses, or the Grandview defense against the Kaiser offense. Shea Spencer, I think, is going to be a problem. Kaiser does not have the normal two-headed running back monster that it's had in years past. It's the Jaden Miller show, and yes, they do have a guy behind him who is still extremely good, but this is no there's no Jaden Meisinger here to go along with Jaden Miller. So you have to create, there's no thunder and lightning here. So that does force Kaiser to be more multiple in what it wants to do and throw the ball more, which I think might actually work in their favor against a Grandview defense that is going to want to shut down something and make them one-dimensional.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to find a way to shut down Shea Spencer, because especially with the momentum he has from their game against College of Idaho, he's going to be feeling really good heading into this game. And a confident Shea Spencer is a horrifying Shea Spencer. You do not want to let that ball roll out of control and avalanche into something you can't deal with. So it's imperative that you find a way, if not through the air, to at least limit his ability to be a dual threat and to hurt you in two fronts on the offensive side of the ball.
Now, is Grandview up to the challenge? Yeah, I'd say so. Jackson Filer has been an absolute freaking nightmare. 18 and a half tackles for loss, 7 sacks, or 7.5 sacks. John Argo was a beast last week. 102 tackles, 14 and a half tackles for loss. And then you've got Tucker Dickerber, who's got 6 picks and 9 pass breakups. This is a Grandview defense that at every level can get it done. Some Grandview defenses have been the stop the run and hope for the best. This defense can make it happen in each phase of the offense, and they might be able to shut down Kaiser's offense both ways. I don't know that they'll be able to, but it's certainly a possibility. They did it last year.
Totally. And I think, too, with Argo, I mean, he's a He's another one who's coming off of a fantastic game. We talked about it with Shea Spencer. John Argo was the main guy on the last drive against Benedictine. That was the reason why Grandview stuffed them on the goal line. Super impressive stuff from him. And that defense, I mean, like we've said all year, they are just a force to absolutely be reckoned with. And if you are able to make Kaiser one-dimensional, not that Jaden Miller is not good, he is absolutely fantastic. But if you can limit the air attack, or if you can limit the ground game between both Shea Spencer and Jaden Miller, it puts you in a much better situation, especially with how well-rounded your position groups are across the board. You can trust your DBs to take on that load. And in the run game, you can trust your D-line and your linebackers to take on that load if that's what they have to favor. It's a matter of being able to funnel Kaiser into doing just one or two things as opposed to 3, 4, 5, have multiple guys involved, that sort of thing.
I think your early key, and this is not anything revolutionary, but I think your early key is going to be, does Grandview have to bring pressure to affect Spencer? Or are they able to get in and worm their way around the Kaiser offensive line with just 4 guys?
If you can consistently pressure Shea with 4, maybe 5 on occasion guys, and be able to have more people in coverage and limit those deadly one-on-one matchups with the receivers from Kaiser, who have shown that when needed to, they're able to make those big plays. Super imperative. It's a really good point you bring up there, Corey.
And I do wonder, just the other kind of factor, some of the outside factors here. We have talked about all offseason and or all playoffs. Good Lord, Matt, I'm already in offseason mode.
Got one more week, Corey.
One more week. One more week. Is Kaiser's external factors. They had a bye week a couple of weeks ago. How now you've had a game and you've shaken off the rust a little bit, because they did come out a little rusty against College of Idaho. Yep. It's fair. Does that now a little bit of freshness over the long term help them, where it might not have paid as well short-term dividends, but long-term dividends, it really might help against a Grandview team that's played all the way through.
Yeah, especially in the playoffs where it doesn't matter how you win, you just need to win. You can afford to give up that ground if it means you get a whole game of rest over the other team. Obviously, it's not their decision. It was just the circumstance that they happened to be in.
Yep.
But still, I think that definitely plays into their favor, and especially with Coach Russ back on the sideline, especially with the fire that was lit under this team with that situation. I don't know, man. They are going to be fired up. They're going to be amped. But I think the question is, too, can they keep that in check? Can they use that as fuel rather than as a distraction, rather than as getting over-prepared or over-hyped or over-anxious for the contest, especially when last year you were handled in this game, truthfully. That might creep into the back of your mind, and you just cannot let it. You have to be full revenge mode, but you still have to be able to rein it in and control that rage into production, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Is it perfume or poison? You know, are you going to use it to smell to make yourself smell better and look better, and you're going to channel that, but you can't drink the perfume, or it is poison. You know, and that's going to be what Kaiser has to keep it between the ditches, and that's going to be very interesting to me. The one prediction I will make at this stage is that I will once again be not yelling. I will be having strong words with the home office that I cannot possibly pick an MVP by the start of the fourth quarter or with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That is my prediction, because it happens most years that the MVP situation just always drives me a little batty.
Yeah, that's fair. But I think too, like last year was a bit different because the game was wrapped up early.
Yeah.
Kind of knew what was going on when it was the third quarter, like late third quarter in that game. My prediction, and I'm not going to pick a team because the last thing I need to do is be responsible for locker room material the week of the national championship game. So I'm not going to make my pick till probably Saturday morning of the game. But I do predict that Kaiser is going to be way more ready to go than they were last year. I think they're ready. I think they feel like they have something to prove, like they have a chip on their shoulder. Emotions are running high, but I think that plays into their favor. I really do. So I'm super excited, not only being on site with you and the crew there this weekend, but being able to see these guys for the second year in a row and see what changes, especially with a lot of the same faces on both sides of the ball. What is different this time around? I think that's always what's really cool when you get rematches, especially at this level, year to year, because so much can change for a team. Even guys who have played in the game from last year, like their involvement can change, their role can change. It's really intriguing when you look at it that way. So I'm super pumped.
And I'm just going to put it out there that this is going to be the fourth consecutive championship game that Kaiser's been in.
Yep.
Okay. They've won 1 out of 3. If Kaiser wins, I do think that we can bestow the title of Dynasty.
I think so. I think we can, especially with such a short time frame. They've put all this together, program history wise, compared to some of these other historic teams that have been around a long time. I think if they win, you can definitely give them that title. Big if though, because certainly Grandview on the other side of the ball is not going to hand it to you. So
true, and if you think about it, they do much better on the second opportunity. Northwestern got the first. Kaiser got them back. 23. 24, Grandview got them. Are they going to be able to repeat history? You said they'd be ready to go, Matt, but you know who else is ready to go?
Is that our patrons?
That's our patrons.
Wow.
They are fantastic. So thrilled that they continue to support us in the manner that they do. And so thankful for them because they are part of the way that we are able to go to the national championship is through their patronage. So if you want to be able to support us doing that, now, full disclosure, UEN is sending me. UEN is not sending Matt.
Yeah, so, UEN hates me, so it's fine. Whatever.
I don't know about hate, but...
No, I'm just kidding.
But,
as long as I get part of the reimbursement, it's fine.
Right. So, our patrons are the ones that make that happen, that allow us to travel outside of what UEN will pay for. And so, if you want to support what we do with NAI football, that is the best way to do it. So, our patrons are DSU Cone, Roger Meyer, Jeremy Vobble, Fred Christensen, Ace Wellen, Marty Seabolt, Kyle Gregory, Tyler Pierce, Justin Hoffman, Steve Speakman, Brian Shake, Julianne Shager, Nate Soapbeer, Stephen Cutler, Julie Lout, Tim Burrow, Nathan Moore, Ryan, Jason Crawford, Todd, Nick, Sean Chamberlain, Zach Lance, Casey Willison, Carol C. Suggs, Derek Flowers. I couldn't do it on two breaths. Christopher Zwiener, Joey Breckle, Coca Nicholas, Swede Nation, Javon Holmes, Donald Lamb, and Brett. Now, and I'm going to absolutely spring this on Matt, and that is absolutely fine. So, this weekend will be the first actual time that most of the NAI media that you know and love, from Joey with Midwest Sports to Vince with the Varsity Sports Show to James Lex with Champion Sports, This will be the first time that we'll all actually get to meet in person. We have all just seen each other's faces online like this. Crap, I haven't even seen Matt in person ever.
Which is crazy to think, but it's
right?
true.
And so we are very much considering doing a Friday night live stream, and maybe do like a panel style show with Matt hosting and get the guys together, and we can talk NAIA football. And Matt said he won't be able to make his pick until Saturday morning. Well, I might just force him to do it Friday night.
If I got to do it Friday night, I can manage. I'm just not making my pick on Monday with a week of preparation to
go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not what you want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we will. We're greatly considering doing that, making sure that we get a good space to do it. We've been looking forward to this ever since it got announced. Getting together, going and getting something to eat, knocking back a couple of beverages, and just enjoying each other's company. Basically, this will be the overwhelming majority of your NAIF ball poll voters will be together for the first time and get to shoot the breeze. It'll be fun. We don't know what barbecue joint we're going to, but we're going to a barbecue joint because
It'll be a barbecue joint. Yeah,
how can you go to Texas and not go to a barbecue joint or steakhouse? But I'm poor.
You should print out the media poll results from each week throughout the year, and we can grill each other. We can be like, "What are you thinking here, man?"
Right, because no one gets to see each other's poll votes either, which is only I get to see those, and it's of course very difficult to not judge other people based on their poll votes. That's fine. But join us on Friday night there for that Friday Night Live, live from somewhere, an undisclosed location that we are
somewhere
unaware
in Dallas, Fort Worth. I know it'll be there.
It'll be somewhere in the Metroplex. It will be fun getting all of us together. If you've ever caught us on Joey's show, you'll know that James Lex is liable to come out with the most harebrained, off-the-wall, left-field stuff. My man is a contrarian and plays into the heel very well. He is not a heel in real life. He just plays one on TV.
That's how it goes sometimes.
It is. Someone's got to disagree, and that man is James Lex.
Mm-hmm.
But it will be a fun time, and you can't get us media guys together and we not do something together. Matt and I will be guesting on shows as we're able on Saturday morning, from Joey's show from the stadium to Vince's show from the stadium. Of course, I'll be on the pregame show, making sure that every my incredibly amazing opinion gets broadcast far and wide. Rolls eyes. But it will be fun. So we'll have Danley involved. Unfortunately, he's got a prior commitment and won't be able to make that Friday, or he'd be in on it too, and it'd be even more fun. But join us for Friday night. Join us for Saturday. That'll be super fun. And Matt, by this time next week, not only will it literally be my birthday, but
happy 56th.
Oh, thanks. I feel it some days. But we'll have a national champion. Some days I feel it. And we will have our first off-season coverage between then and we'll try to see what we get in terms of those weeks of Christmas and New Year's, get some stuff out. So it'll be fun. Can't wait. Crown a champ. It's going to be super fun. Let's see. One more check. Spring Creek Barbecue is great. Derek Smith says Jackson didn't look comfortable on the snow. He really didn't. And that snow looked like it was turning to ice.
Yeah, I think the fact that it was ice more than snow is kind of what does that because it gets a little slick, it's a little more solid, it's a bit more awkward to deal with. I feel like than powdery snow. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's certainly like I said, those Iowa boys will tell you they love playing in that. They're going to be very thankful it's 65 degrees this
Okay.
Saturday.
I will make a dividing statement there. The
Uh-oh.
linemen love playing in the snow.
Okay,
The
yeah,
skill guys do not.
I think your DBs still do. I think defense. I think all defense enjoys playing in the snow.
I
Well, I guess if you're like a true boundary corner, probably not.
I'm sure if you're covering like deep halves and deep thirds,
Yeah,
7 degrees is going to feel like you're getting stabbed in the lungs constantly.
box safeties eat that up, though. I'll tell you what, man. Holy cow.
We won't have to worry about that. Thank the Lord. All right. We will see y'all then on the Twitter feeds and, well, keep it here for off-season content. If we don't get to say it before then, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.